As we draw closer to the actual fight, I am getting second thoughts. If I actually think about it, it's just deadline nervousness, so I am just irrationally thinking about the what ifs more, and this is entirely what this video is about. Here are some pointers and a bit of a recap you guys can look out for, because this feeling is weird. That this fight is gonna be weird, okay? Every Imavov fight has been weird as fuck. Let's look at his fights in the past 7 years, okay? Let's use that as a starter. He beat Buckley by unanimous decision, which is good, but this was middleweight Buckley. Welterweight Buckley would destroy middleweight Buckley. Don't think too much into that sentence. I just realized that too, but you get the idea. And then next, he lost to Sean Strickland. It was a good fight, and later in the fight, Sean got his rhythm and won that fight by unanimous decision. But the fight was in light heavyweight, and I couldn't remember the reason for that. But there's always one weird thing about Imavov. So, yeah, I can guarantee Imavov versus Izzy is going to have something very weird, like Izzy's first no contest or something. And this was Sean Strickland from a long time ago, so you can't really compare him to the current Sean Strickland, and that can be said also for Imavov. So Imavov lost to Sean Strickland, but in the modern day and age of 2025, if Imavov was to fight Sean Strickland, you know, who knows what would happen. So let's continue. Chris Curtis, no contest. Clash of heads. All right, that's the weird thing there. Roman fight, majority decision, just scraped by with a win. And the weird thing in this fight was his round 4 point deduction. He did an illegal soccer kick, okay? Quote unquote illegal. He had one hand down. Don't worry, it's not like this anymore for 2025. And not to mention the super weird stoppage with Jared Cannonier next. I think Imavov was going to win the fight anyway, but can we let him have a normal fight? The stoppage was too early in my opinion, but like I said earlier, Jared was probably going to lose anyway, especially in Jared's next fight where his age showed against Borao. I keep forgetting bro is like 40. In the final rounds, he got destroyed by Borao, and now his most recent fight was with Brendan Allen. This fight was also very weird, especially when I'm rewatching it back. Allen dominated round 1 very easily, and then Imavov dominated round 2 so easily. It felt like they were different fighters for each round. And then the last round was a somewhat war. That's kind of weird. They were both very exhausted, to be fair. It was only a 3-round fight, so why not use all of your aerobic or anaerobic energy so you can have a high-paced fight? But, you know, they were still super exhausted and looked sloppy as hell. Don't get me started on the Getty images. So now, oh yeah, this video is going to be short, I swear. It's going to be like 7 minutes or something, or 8 minutes. So let's look at Israel Adesanya now. This post-championship Izzy he's kind of in his mature stage now. He's losing pieces of his motivation with each consecutive fight. I feel like Izzy, at this age, needs a lot more pressure to get the most out of him now. He's not a rising prospect anymore, so he doesn't have that drive. He's already attained that status. The most he can do now is try his best to be how good he was before. You know, the best he can achieve now is be how good he was in 2019 or 2020 and just maintain that status. There's no way in this age he's gonna have this resurgence and another peak in his career. No way that's happening, especially in the next upcoming landscape of the middleweight division. You know, if I was in Izzy's shoes, who's the next champion? Oh, who's the current champion? Oh, I just lost to him by submission recently. Or who's going to be the next champion? Probably Chimaev, and he's gonna be dominant as hell. Who's a middleweight that's just fighting in light heavyweight for some reason? Yeri, so we might see a Yeri in middleweight. Yeah, it's gonna be quite competitive in the future. Yeah, Izzy knows he might not be champion for a long time again, but he still wants to prove himself to be an amazing fighter. So I guess this is how Izzy versus Imavov became matchmaked. I don't know. I don't know the past tense for that, but everyone is saying this is a tune-up fight for the MMA community, a tune-up fight, and this big quote unquote "y'all must have forgot" moment, which I want to believe, but don't celebrate such a quote yet, bro. Okay, I want you to have a Paul Acosta performance first, and then you can say it. I'm just a little worried about this weird feeling I have. Don't place your bets on anything I just said, of course. I have no idea how this fight will end or how this fight will go in general. But I can guarantee some sort of weird shit is going to happen. Okay, probably funny as fuck too. So don't gamble in general, because this video was initially me trying to actually analyze the fight and see who will really win. But I just can't understand Imavov's style at all. He's just all over the place. And to be fair, the people in his resume that he's been fighting, it's pretty obvious that he's tailoring his training camp to fight those specific diverse fighters. So if you're Izzy's team, it's very hard to know what to look out for, because he's French and I think he's kickboxing-ish. I can't remember, but he's also Imavov. His name's Imavov, so you got to watch out at the same time. So it's one big question mark. So I actually don't know. And Izzy, yeah, that also being said, I need to reiterate, Izzy is in his mature stage. So I don't know what version he will bring out on fight night or fight day.
The past 2 years, right? Like Alex twice in a row, Strickland, Duplessis, those all had, a storyline and attention to them. This seems like it's just a straightforward fight between two sportsmen. Do you like that build and kind of the change of pace here?
Yeah, it's always good to mix things up, but again, this is just fighting. It'd be pretty boring in the lead up to this fight for the fans who like that kind of stuff. But the fight's going to be very exciting. That's a sauce in this one.
I remember when Izzy was on top, people were calling him the second coming of Anderson Silva. So if people still believe that, then Izzy's going to have his leg snapped from a low kick and have a losing streak. I don't want to jinx that, okay? I really hope not, but I still think something funky. Okay, it's not weird anymore, it's funky. Something funky is going to happen. Either Izzy's boxing is going to be so crap that he's going to have some super boring, weird point performance and everyone's going to hate Izzy, but he won. Or Imavov does something very weird. Like, the fight's just going to be weird. I just know it.